Welcome to episode 429 of the RV Podcast.
And in this week's episode, it's RV show season. Hello everybody, I'm Mike Wendland, and this is my lifelong traveling companion and my bride, Jennifer. And we welcome you to another episode of the RV Podcast. This one coming to you from the beautiful snow-covered Tahquamenon Falls State Park in Michigan's Upper Peninsula.
One of our dog Bo's favorite places to be, and I got to tell you, sitting in this studio, sitting in our warm, cozy fifth wheel, looking out the window at all the snow stuck to the trees, and it's just absolutely beautiful. I think we need to keep this studio.
Yeah.
With the fireplace right behind us.
You know, everybody, when we do these stories, they all say, oh, I hate this. Not everybody, not all, but we get all these comments. Oh, Burr, it's too cold for me. I hate snow. And, you know, that's true, but a lot of us love it. And as we say in the video that we'll be releasing Saturday that shows you some of the beauty of the woods in the wintertime, as long as we're able to, we're going to make the winter camp out that we do every year up here part of our RV lifestyle.
We certainly are. Bo votes for that.
Yep. He's a little tired right now because we just came back from the Lake Superior shoreline where he's been running up and down in the ice and snow. We have 32 people here this year.
We do. And Bo thinks everybody knows his name.
And they do. They do. I'm wearing my official Stormy Cromer hat. This is the official hat of the UP. It's actually a very stylish hat now. It comes in all sorts of different colors. This is my dress black hat. As Jennifer said, we bought the fifth wheel up here. First time we've ever brought the fifth wheel to the Upper Peninsula in the wintertime. And it was quite an adventure coming up here.
It was a real adventure driving over the bridge. It got icy, slippery, foggy, rain, freezing rain, snow. What about an hour south of the bridge?
About an hour. Yeah, we had rain driving up, and then about an hour south of the Big Mac Bridge that divides the upper and lower peninsula of Michigan, the snow turned to ice. And that lasted about 10, 15 miles, and then it turned to snow. I'm sorry, the rain turned to ice, and then it turned to snow. And when we crossed the bridge, there was a high wind warning. We were a little apprehensive about pulling the 32.5-foot fifth wheel across Mackinac Bridge. We did so. The snow was coming down, and the wind was so the snow was going sideways. And then it was the snow covered and slippery all the way from the St. Ignace side, where you cross over into the Upper Peninsula, all the way to Tahquamenon Falls here. But we made it.
We made it.
No, it was very easy. I was quite surprised.
Well, snow, ice, wind doesn't bother you at all. I probably would have been white knuckles, but...
But after a weekend up here in the woods, we are about to hit the road, and we are headed to...
Tampa, Florida.
And the big Tampa RV Super Show, the Florida Super Show. Yes, we are going after all. And people are going to ask, are we going to do a meetup? Should we do one in the pavilion again?
If we're allowed to.
Yes, we can. If we're having lunch or something there and people come up and say hi, they aren't going to get mad at that. So when should we have lunch at the pavilion? I think Thursday afternoon, maybe?
I'll let you be the scheduler.
How about 1 p.m. Thursday afternoon? For those of you going to the Tampa RV show, we will be in the pavilion area having lunch and just hanging out around a table. 1 p.m. Thursday. You can come and say hi to us.
Whoever wants to have lunch, join us at the pavilion.
Meet and greet. And you'll see us at the show, and by all means say hi. We always look forward to meeting people. In the News of the Week segment in a little bit, we got some news of one of the big stories everybody's looking forward to at the show, an EV, an electronic vehicle RV. We started to see them last year. And now we're going to see one in a Class B type van setting, so that's going to be interesting. Mm-hmm. We're pretty excited about going to Tampa, and this is going to be a fast turnaround from the Upper Peninsula to Tampa. But we've done it now for how many years?
I don't know.
This is 11th year at the Tampa show.
Oh boy!
I think. Yeah. All right. Hey, when we come back, we're going to talk about RV shows because the Tampa RV show is not the only one. We just did a count. There's something like 35 RV shows around the country over the next 2 weekends. And we're going to talk about RV show season, why it's important for you as a consumer, and if you've never been to a show, or even if you have, how you can make your time count at the show, how to see what you want to see and make sure that you don't say, oh, we forgot to see that. Some tips on how to navigate RV shows when we come back after this.
Tired of overcrowded campgrounds and competing for reservations, paying high fees for sites? Well, ownership is an emerging trend in RVing that might be right for you. It was for Jen and me. We bought some land just west of Nashville, Tennessee, in an incredible collection of mountaintop RV properties called the Woodlands at Buffalo River. These are 5 to 62 acre properties that allow RVs year-round starting at $79,900, and we loved it. The scenery is breathtaking, and you can own it outright. It's not a timeshare. It's your property, your way. You can landscape, garden, bring your pets, build what you want to. There's high-speed internet, and it's so private. It's a great place to make your home base. No more calling around for reservations, ready whenever you want. And they're selling these properties by appointment, 5 to 62 acres, $79,900. Financing, big discounts available on multi-lot packages. For information, visit myrvland.com. myrvland.com.
Welcome back, everybody. Time now for the interview of the week, and the topic of the week in this episode, RV show season. It is underway.
It is just great. What we got coming up immediately, of course, is Tampa and Quartzsite.
Quartzsite, Arizona. 150,000 people, most of them boondocking in the desert around this little tiny town of Quartzsite, Arizona, near the California border. That lasts until the 29th of the month, and they build that around this big rock and mineral show and the big tent. It's a big RV event. And then, of course, the premiere of the RV shows, manufacturer shows, is the Florida RV Super Show, which gets underway next week in Tampa, Florida. And that's where we're on our way. But those are just 2 of like 35 that we know of in just the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, isn't it great? Because you remember a couple of years ago when there weren't any, and now I've got a list. I got 2 pages here. It looks like there's about 35 of them on this sheet. All these different shows, so you should be able to catch 1 or 2.
I mean, there's the RV boat show in Columbus, Ohio. There's the Oklahoma City show. There's Boston. I'm just looking. Tacoma, Kansas City, Chicago, Nashville, Dayton, Louisville, Atlanta, the Detroit RV show. All these are coming up over the next couple of weeks. And the big one, of course, is Tampa. Mm-hmm. Tampa is a huge show, right next to Hershey, Pennsylvania. It's always a toss-up. Which one is the larger? Which one? We go to all of them. So, what do you think?
They are 2 totally different shows. The atmosphere, the being there, because there's a lot of like circus acts, a lot of entertainment at the Tampa show, and they just feel different. They're 2 different animals.
Well, for one thing, it's they're both outside shows, but there's something about being in Florida in January and have the temperature in the 70s and blue skies, which has been most of the years we've gone. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it gets a little cool.
Yeah, but Tampa in January is pretty hard to beat.
And maybe we like Tampa so much because we're coming from the UP where we've been cold and shivering for a few days on our winter campout, so we go straight from here to there. But it is a really great show, and our guest on the podcast this week is Dave Kelly. Dave is the executive director of the Florida RV Travel Association, and they are the sponsors and the organizers of the Florida RV Super Show. And we asked Dave to come on and give us some hints about how do you manage your time at an RV show. Now he's talking about the Tampa show, which is highly on his mind these days. But the tips apply to any RV show that you are going to attend. What are some of the things that you should do? We'll start off with Dave, and then we'll offer a few suggestions of our own. So without any further ado, Dave Kelly from the Florida RV Trade Association.
Well, Dave Kelly joins us right now. Hey, Dave.
Hey, Mike, how are you?
You're going to have a busy week with this show.
Yeah, excuse me. I get a little choked up. It's it's that time of year for us to get the show going again.
Yeah, always a highlight in the RV industry. It is kind of the bellwether of how the year is going to look. Just a quick recap: how is this show compared to others? We're back to fairly normal now, and after the pandemic, everybody's smiles down there in Florida.
Yeah, all of the dealers are excited about the show. Manufacturers have bought a record amount of space this year. What people need to understand, Mike, is that this is a manufacturer's show. So all of the RVs that are on display come directly from the manufacturers, which means we have everything from the smallest RV on the market all the way up to the $2, $3, $4 million buses. So everything in between, and it's nice because there's an RV for everybody, every lifestyle, every hobby or whatever it is, however you're going to use it. So we're excited about kicking off. This is the 38th annual Super Show.
Well, that's amazing how fast time flies. I know this is, I think, our 11th that we will have attended, and it's always a highlight. For people who are going to the show, and really for people going to any RV show, give us a sense of how they should budget their time. Over and over, we hear from people that, man, it was so busy. I only saw a part of what I wanted to see. How can they get the most out of their time when they go to an RV show?
Well, for this show particularly, Mike, we have a interactive map that they can either download onto their mobile device or go to on their computer on our website. And it'll show you every single display, where they're located. So you can kind of plan your day as to what you want to see. Now, if there's something specific that you want to see, a certain manufacturer, I would go to that first, because it's very easy to get distracted at a show like this because there's so many displays, and they are grouped by manufacturer. So that does make it a little bit easier if you wanted to see one manufacturer in particular. But we do also do a 2-day ticket. So it's $15 for adults. It's $2 off online if you buy a ticket online, but you get a 2-day ticket. So you can come on Wednesday and come back on Friday or over the weekend. So that way people don't have to feel like they have to rush through the show to see everything. They can come back another day and catch the things that they missed the first day.
Now, of course, this is such a big area. For those who've never been to the Tampa RV show, how big is that Florida State Fairgrounds that is the site of the show?
Yeah, we highly recommend wearing your best walking shoes because it is quite spread out. I mean, we use other than the horse pavilion area, we use just about every bit of the Florida State Fairgrounds. So, I would recommend also coming in early, and plenty of places to eat and plenty of places to sit down and rest. So, plan on spending the whole day with us.
I know. I think it was last year I counted on the opening day of the public show. I had a step counter on my watch, and I walked 7 miles. And that was just going back and forth and around. So now there are a lot of people who, for any RV show, I know you guys put on other shows besides this during the year in Florida, and our folks who can't go to Tampa, but for any RV show they get. How do you suggest they research that? RV show has a website, but I mean, when do they start drawing up that plan, and just some insider tips?
Yeah, right now, if they go to our website, which is frvta.org, it stands for Florida RV Trade Association. Go to our website. All of the shows are listed right there under RV shows. And all of the shows would have a show layout, what dealers are going to be on display, who the exhibiting suppliers and accessory items. So every show has a website, and the layout is already up online. So I would highly recommend visiting our website for the other shows. Now, the other shows are dealer shows, so they're not as large as this show, of course, in Tampa, but they still have a lot of the same product on display.
And the difference between a manufacturer show and a dealer show is that the dealer show tends to be just the lines that one or two particular dealers that are sponsoring the show have. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah, we call them regional shows for the local dealers. So from the Tampa Super Show, we go down to Fort Myers and we do a show for the dealers in the Fort Myers area. And like you said, those products represented by those dealers will be on display. But a lot of our booth exhibitors and accessory item exhibitors also go to these shows. So you'll see some of those same guys at some of the regional shows.
Well, we'll put a link to your website, and then we list every RV show in the country by month on rvlifestyle.com, and we'll put a link to that so folks can plan. But research early. You shouldn't just show up and expect to see the best of the show without doing a little research to find out what and where everything is. That's the takeaway?
Well, like I said, it depends, Mike. I mean, if someone's saying I want to see a specific manufacturer, I would suggest going there first thing when you get to the show. If you're there, a lot of first time buyers come to the show, and we recommend shows because some people are a little hesitant to walk onto a dealer's lot and say, look, I don't know what's going on. Explain the whole RV lifestyle to me. We recommend RV shows because it's a great place to get all your questions answered in a very low pressure environment. Spend time and talk to some of the other people that are at the show. RVers are as you know, the nicest people, friendliest people you'll ever want to meet. When you're sitting down to have lunch, grab a sandwich, a hot dog, a corn dog, whatever, and sit down and talk to the people. You'll learn so much more than you would by going onto a dealer's lot. I can guarantee you that.
One question is, can people actually buy an RV at the show, and can they trade in an old one? How does that work at a
yeah
show?
We definitely will be taking writing up orders at the show, and if you bring your RV, the dealers will come out and give you an appraisal on your RV for trade. So absolutely, we will be doing business at the show.
That's awesome. And some people are actually staying on the fairgrounds, but I suppose that's pretty filled up real quickly.
Yeah, yeah. This year, and that's why we're anticipating a big show, Mike, because our rally sold out over 800 spaces in 10 days. Now they can still do some dry camping through the fairgrounds in their parking lot, but we don't control that lot. You have to make your reservations through the state fairgrounds website. But there is I believe there is some camping still available.
And the rallies are from the different manufacturers and the interest groups who all come to the show, and they camp together, and sold out in 10 days. That's amazing.
Yeah, and they have a great time. We do evening entertainment 3 of the nights. We do coffee and donuts for them in the mornings. So they have a great time coming to the show.
I suppose I could get an RV lifestyle rally going next year, maybe.
Why not?
I don't know. I never thought of that before. I think maybe that's what we'll try. Well, Dave Kelly, thank you for giving us a quick overview. We look forward to the show as we do every year, and I know so many of our followers do as well. And we'll see you wearing our running shoes so we can carry get some ground up there.
Well, safe travels, Mike, and we'll see you at the show.
All right. Thanks, Dave Kelly, for making time. He's a very busy man.
I know. I was happy that we got to get him to talk to us.
He gave some great tips. But no matter what RV show that you go to, like anything else, you want to give some attention and some pre-planning. So we put together just at the top of our heads a few suggestions from all the different RV shows that may help you. So what do you think?
Bring a pen and a notepad.
And really maybe even a marker, because you're going to get one of those little maps from them, and that makes it easier to circle stuff.
Yeah, know the layout of where you're going. You got to do your homework ahead of time.
Which implies, too, that you should arrive as early as you can. The shows normally open at 9:30, 10 a.m., most RV shows. And particularly if you're going to be there the first day, which is when you find the best deals, believe it or not, or people more anxious they're always anxious to deal at a show, but first day you can really get first pick, and that's the best shopping, I think. Get early, arrive early. Yeah. And
give yourself breaks. Make sure you put that time in there so you don't absolutely collapse.
I think a good idea is plan your activities the night before. I mean, if you're only there for a day, you don't want to miss anything, so write down for sure the RVs that you want to see. If you can stay a couple of days, and many of the shows are big enough that you really do need 2 days to see them all. Plan okay, here's everything we want to see. We want to do this half today and this half the next day. So I think that's important.
And your food. Plan your meals.
Oh yeah. Sometimes the food is, if you have dietary needs, it's going to be hard to find what you need. So you might want to figure out if going back to your car or your RV and eating there.
And don't overschedule. Pace yourself.
Well, right along with that comes one thing you should schedule are some breaks. Give yourself time to sit around, find a park bench or a bench in the show, and just sit, review some of the literature that you've gotten, and think about what you saw, and debrief each other. That's a good one.
And enter all those drawings, for free stuff.
Oh,
Put your
yeah.
name in there. Maybe you'll win something.
If there's two of you going and you only have a limited amount of time, something you might want to do is divide and conquer.
And I like to take pictures. When I'm going through all these RVs and everything, if I see something I like, the price and a couple pictures.
Yeah.
That helps me.
And don't buy the first thing. Whether it is accessories, they all have vendors, lots of vendors where they have all these cool gadgets and gizmos for your RV. Don't buy the first thing because chances are other people are selling it. And if you're shopping for an RV, say you'll be back. I'll be back to take a look, but I want to look at a couple of your competitors. That will tell that salesperson that you're a serious buyer and a shopper. And if you come back, I think, or she is going to be, more inclined to give you a better price.
And do not be pressured. Don't let them push you into something and, you're not ready.
Last tip, wear comfortable shoes.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry about fashion. Be comfortable.
At Tampa, we average a little over 5 miles every day, and that's just covering the show, walking to the various spots. These shows are spread out. Even the ones in the big arenas, you'll be amazed at the amount of territory you'll cover. So be comfortable. Anyway, there are RV shows, of course, every month of the year, and we are very proud at rvlifestyle.com, our website. We have probably the most comprehensive list of RV shows you'll find anywhere. It's all divided by month, and we will put links in the show notes for this episode so you can see the shows coming up. We put a show schedule every Monday when we send out our weekly newsletter that you can subscribe to, and you can find out the shows and all that stuff at rvlifestyle.com. All right, that was fun from Dave and some tips, and I can't wait to get to Tampa. We'll be back after this.
When we're asked what's the most important modification we made to our RV, it's an easy answer. Battle-Born batteries. Battle-Born batteries are quality, safe, reliable lithium batteries that allow us to stay out there off the grid longer. Lithium batteries charge faster, they charge fuller, they're longer lasting, they're maintenance free, and Battle-Born batteries are protected by a 10-year guarantee. Now, in our case, they just dropped into the existing AGM batteries that we have, and they'll probably be the same on your rig too. Battle-Born battery experts can get those in your rig just like they did with ours. They can also match you up with the right cabling, the inverter, the charger, the solar controller, everything. Jennifer and I swear by our Battle-Born batteries. They allow us to boondock off the grid. Check them out. Go to rvlifestyle.com/lithium. rvlifestyle.com/lithium.
One of the most exciting developments for RVs is happening out west in Arizona. Western Land and Ranches is selling 5-acre high-elevation ranches just off the famous Route 66, the birthplace of the American road trip. Prices start at only $39,900, and these are beautiful, secluded tracts of land surrounded by majestic mountain ranges with sweeping valley views. The high elevation is a unique microclimate as well, giving you cooler temperatures, green grasses, and tree cover, making it unique for desert property. The community is in the center of it all, close to the best of the West, Grand Canyon, Las Vegas, Lake Havasu, Lake Mead, Lake Mojave, the Colorado River, Flagstaff, Sedona, and historic Williams. If you're tired of crowded RV parks and paying high fees for sites, Well, ownership might be right for you. This incredible collection of mountaintop properties called Greenwood Ranches hit the market and it's selling out fast. There is no HOA. You can build a house, a cabin, outbuildings, or just RV. It's your property, your way, 100% ownership. Visit the website to get details and set up a showing, ArizonaRVland.net. That's ArizonaRVland.net.
Welcome back to the news of the week. And Mike, what's the first story?
Well, the first story, and it's making a lot of news, is that the RV industry is really being looked at as an early indicator of what appears to be an economic true recession that is about to befall the United States. The industry is watched very carefully, and the reason why is because what happens with manufacturing and employment and sales has traditionally been a first sign that the U.S. economy is tumbling into a full-out recession. And USA Today had a big story this past week that the signs, and they pointed to the RV industry as an example, are not good. For 4 decades, we have seen significant declines in RV shipments, followed by a recession. So when the RV Industry Association reported manufacturing numbers this past November to be the second lowest since 2016, at least one economist was saying that this shows that 2023 will likely usher in a full-blown recession. And that's not good news. The reason they look to the RV industry, and in particular Elkhart, Indiana, where 80% of all of the RVs that are sold are made, is that RVs are expensive, they're typically financed, and during a recession, it's one of the first things people stop buying. So since the Feds have now raised the interest rates about 4 percentage points in the last year, and they're expected to raise them even more this year, the cost of borrowing money has gone up, and this is being reflected now in RV sales. There is a glimmer of hope, and that glimmer of hope is the unemployment statistics in Elkhart, Indiana are still low. They're 2.8%, and while that's, can you believe it, that's actually up a little bit, that's an extremely low number, and the experts say that shows that RV companies are not massively laying off employees yet. So hopefully that won't happen. But the RV industry is certainly a bellwether for the economy, and all the signs, at least USA Today says, now point, because of that slowdown in the RV industry, to a national recession. It's important stuff.
All right, now we'll move on to the second story. Federal officials were forced to close Dry Tortuga National Park last week after 427 people fleeing Cuban fishing boats moved into Fort Jefferson, leaving their clothes to dry on trees in the sun. The migrants arrived over several days, and federal officials said it was unprecedented to have so many land at once, which is why the national park had to be closed. Federal officials brought the migrant food, water, and medical care before handing them over to the Department of Homeland Security. The national park is located 70 miles west of Key West and can only be accessed by boat or by plane.
It's a beautiful national park, and if you're in Key West, it's well worth visiting. Out in California, they're still reeling from a series of storms that really devastated a lot of state parks and some of the national park sites. They've been closed to campers and visitors since the weekend, and even as we prepare this report, 46 state parks were still completely closed in California. Another 49 had partial closures because of significant damage caused by really some unusual storms that hit California last week. Fallen trees, collapsed piers, power outages, landslides, flooding, just part of a long list of issues that officials had to address before those parks and campgrounds in California can be reopened.
Now on to the next story. If you're going to go to the Tampa RV Super Show and you're interested in electric camper vans and you want to check out the Winnebago's all-electric camper van reveal, just sign up for a test drive. Can you believe that? You get to do that. Winnebago announced its plan to unveil its second concept camper van built on the new Ford E-Transit last week, and that caught our eye and our attention as it was announced that people can sign up for a test drive. Last year at the Tampa show, Winnebago unveiled its first electric camper van, the concept vehicle, with special battery pack and up to 125 miles of range. How this second camper van, called the ERV2, will differ, we're not quite sure about that, but the reveal is happening January 18th, and it's going to be there to share, and we're going to be there to share what we learned.
Yeah, the sharing is like you can sign up, I think, for a 15-minute test drive. They've got rented some space over at a motorcycle dealer not far from the fairgrounds where the show is. I looked, and most of all of the spots had been already taken, but still, a lot of this is gimmicky because, you know, the one they interviewed last year, there's no sign of that coming to market. And I would imagine it's the same with this, except there have been some great technology improvements. So we're going to be very curious to see whether this is just a PR stunt or whether this is really something that consumers are going to be able to use sometime. So
I think people are going to be really excited and want to sign up for this, to be able to say, we did that.
Oh, yeah. I think they're going to love riding it. And I think it's at a Harley-Davidson dealers where you get to ride the ERV if you can get a time spot from Winnebago. One last story, and this is kind of fun if you are into dark skies, out at Death Valley National Park. Can you imagine the dark skies out there?
Sounds
good. It's one of our favorite things to look at the dark sky at night, and that's why this cool event, if we could get out there, I'd love to do it. It's the Dark Sky Festival in Death Valley, California, Nevada. It is said to be one of the best dark sky parks anywhere in the country, and they will be doing this during February. So get out there if you're anywhere near, and you'll have a great time, and tell us all about it, because I don't think we can get out there this February, but maybe the next time. All right, we're back with your questions of the week coming up right after this.
When we're on a road trip, we always seem to find a way to stop at a Camping World center. There are over 225 Camping World locations across the country, and there's always one close by when we need parts and accessories for our RV or just want to shop. In fact, we have so much fun with Camping World, and as we talk about it as one of our sponsors, they have agreed to offer a 10% discount if you use the coupon code RVLifestyle10 when you buy $99 or more in merchandise. You'll find everything you want, from outdoor furniture and appliances, the ones you see us use in our videos and that we talk about here in the podcast. RV extras that include everything from camping chairs to fire pits, electrical accessories, must-have gadgets. Check them all out. And again, don't forget, use the coupon code RVLifestyle10 when you visit campingworld.com.
Now it's time for the RV questions of the week, and the first one is from Dave and Cindy, and I think it's something that we're all going to relate to. Cindy and Dave ask, really enjoy all the valuable info and knowledge you share with us RVers. An issue that really frustrates us that I haven't seen addressed is the difficulty we have making online camping reservations, especially here in Colorado. Most of the states and national parks, as well as the National Forest campgrounds, open up for online reservations at 8 a.m. 6 months prior. Last summer, we tried many times for some of the more popular areas at exactly 8 a.m. on that first day of availability, and all sites were taken within seconds. Is there a trick or a strategy to the system? Would appreciate any advice or experience you can offer. Ever since COVID, that's a question that we all can relate to, but I think we've got a couple suggestions for you.
We got a couple websites you can try, it's still iffy if you can get what you want, but one site I really like is campgroundviews.com. They've gone through and they have 360-degree tours of many, many parks, and you can make an instant reservation right from that site. So you don't have to make about 5 different phone calls, be put on hold, or go through all these different operators. It's just, you can make it right online. Campgroundviews.com. It's very helpful. And then if you are trying to book a reservation at a site that has been sold out, there's a service called CampNab, campnab.com. They charge you a fee, but they'll do the work for you. What they'll do is search for cancellations. And if they find a cancellation, they'll book that for you or let you know that you can call right then and get it. I've had people tell me that that's been very helpful for them when they had only a limited days that they could get their RV out and use it, and that's helped them. Try it yourself, see what you think. Campnab.com. Short of that, you have to be practicing a lot of patience. We had people at our campfire here at our winter campout talking about that this week, and how, when they open the sites, you have to be ready at, if it's 8 o'clock, you got to be ready at 7:59 to hit that button as close to 8, so it'll ring and you can make that. But many times they are sold off, and it's a frustration many of us have. I think that's another reason why so many people are buying RV property. Mm-hmm. I really do, because then you can, you always have a spot. So best of luck. I think we're all going to keep still needing patience this year to find the exact spots, but hopefully those 2 sites will help.
Okay, now we've got another question from Brad, who's going to go full-time.
And Brad has one need that many full-timers and even people who are able to work remotely and want to sneak away a little bit, they all have that same need: reliable internet.
And this question comes from Brad. I'll be retiring this spring and going full-time RVing. I have a 32-foot long fifth wheel, and I'm planning on going to Arizona by way of Maine. No rush. I am an avid television watcher. The History Channel, the Discovery Channel, programs like that. So the internet is important to me. I'm trying to decide what kind of equipment I want to satisfy these needs, and would really appreciate your insight.
Well, that was a good question, Brad. And as we said, you're not alone. Everybody wants to make sure they have that reliable communication.
And of course, one thing that you can go to is the Starlink satellite connection.
Yep. Elon Musk's Starlink network, a constellation of Starlink satellites, keeps growing. Starlink, if you are traveling west of the Mississippi and you are using their RV plan, it is extremely efficient. East of the Mississippi, almost all of those areas are oversubscribed, and you'll find the speeds somewhat slowed and not as fast as you would like. But not knowing your route completely and how you plan to do all of your RVing, many RVers find that Starlink, if they're going to be particularly boondocking and out west, that's a great system to have. There are a couple of other systems. There's lots of systems. The MiFi card from Verizon, or one of, I forget what AT&T calls their same thing, a little tiny hotspot. Those work for many people, but you'll often exceed your data use on those if you're going to do a lot of streaming. So for really solid, if you're going to be traveling a lot, you want to really upgrade your internet. Again, that's a cellular service. Their data caps are a little less, I think, but it's been performing very reliably. And even up here in the woods at Tequamanon Falls, where there's one cell signal and it's sometimes spotty in the woods, Internet on the Go has been working great. So those are the 2 systems I've been looking at, and along with, as Jennifer says, Starlink. If you really need to be connected all the time, you probably want to have a backup system. So many will use Starlink as a backup, and then one of those other systems or similar ones like that. You'll do a lot of experimenting because that's a common need. We would love to get your comments or questions, and you can reach us at Mike and Jen at rvlifestyle.com. All right, about ready to leave the woods here at Tequamanon Falls. We got one more night. Going to hit the end button on our video here, and we're going to go down to the campfire.
Yeah, we got to get down and visit and join everybody, and then we're going to go have dinner and go look at the falls one last time before we leave.
And then on to Tampa. Send us your email. We'd love to see you. Take care, everybody.
Happy trails.